Good evening and welcome to West Virginia Public Broadcasting's live coverage of Governor Jim Justice's 2020 State of the State Address. I'm Suzanne Higgins along with Dave Mistich here at the Capitol building this evening. We have a packed House of Delegates chamber as we see the governor there is about to make his way down the aisle for a joint assembly of the West Virginia Legislature. This is the opening day of the second regular session of the 84th Legislature. This is a 60-day session, and we are about to hear the governor as he presents his budget and announces the legislative agenda. The governor is making his way to the podium. Dave, this of course is an election year. 100 seats in the House, all open. Half of the Senate seats are open. How might a backdrop of the primary election impact what we hear tonight or what we see here in the next 2 months?
Well, as you pointed out, it is an election year, and of course, not only are House and Senate seats up, but also is the governor's office. Of course, Governor Justice has some challengers within his own party, the Republican Party, and we'll look to see if he can secure that nomination in early May and head on towards the November election. So it being an election year, it's likely that this session, the priorities will play some role in what's to come.
All right, and now Governor Jim Justice with the 2020 State of the State Address.
Okay, now if y'all don't want to be here all night, sit down. They've got me wired every way you can wire somebody up, which is good. You know, the first thing I would tell you is it's a great evening in the state of West Virginia. And I bless you in every way, and I thank you in every way for being here. You know, today is a great day in our state. You know, before we go any further, I'd like to recognize my family. You know, I haven't seen you and Catherine since you got here. But my beautiful wife, Kathy, daughter Jill and her husband, Adam, daughter-in-law, Catherine, and our son, Jay. Without going long, you know, I would surely introduce my cabinet. And I'm just going to say my cabinet without going through everybody. And now I'd like to move on to our constitutional officers. You know, these people that are sitting over to my left have done something that is unbelievable in my opinion. They have restored honor and integrity to our court when the storm was pretty rough. And so if I could introduce our Chief Justice, Tim Armstead, Justice Margaret Workman, Justice Elizabeth Walker, Justice Evan Jenkins, and Justice John Hutchinson. I have had the opportunity, which is so unbelievably rare, it's off the chart. I had the opportunity to appoint 3 of these judges. They're good people. They've done lots and lots and lots of great stuff for our state, as has our other 2 justices. And so at the end of the day, I salute you. I could never thank you enough. I mean, really and truly, we were in a storm, and you're pulling us out of it very proudly. Thank you so much. Really good. Now, because I don't know the seating chart here, our Attorney General is somewhere, Patrick Morrissey. And before I'd have him stand, I'd like to just say this. You know, our citizens of this state deserve good stuff. One of the things they surely deserve is affordable health care coverage, which is why today I'm asking the legislature to advance an initiative that he has championed, and that is to ensure that the people with pre-existing conditions in this state, even though you may have loved Obamacare or maybe you didn't, surely all of us can agree on one thing, and that is just this. West Virginians should be protected against pre-existing conditions. So please do that. And if Patrick Morrissey could stand wherever Patrick is. Over here. Okay. Our Secretary of State, Mike Warner's here. And Mike has made a mission to ensure the integrity of West Virginia's elections and to protect them from cyber security threats. Matt is a champion at that, and we know that. So if our Secretary of State, Mike Warner, could stand, please. Our auditor, J.B. McCuskey. J.B. has made one thing for sure, and that is us to be transparent. Transparent with all the state's finances. We don't need to hide anything. And J.B. secures the fact that we won't do that. So give him a big round of applause. Commissioner Kent Leonhardt. We have so many potential opportunities within agriculture in this state, and we know it. And he's after it. One thing that Kent is he is stuck on all the time. And every time I see him, he's just striving to do more and more and more. Bring opportunities to our farmers within the state to where we can consume more of their products within our state. So please give a big round of applause to Kent Leonhardt. And our treasurer, John Perdue. John is a friend. He's been a friend a long time. John is the guy that looks after our money. It is hard to believe the magnitude of the money. $13 billion. It's unbelievable. He's done the job forever. He's done a great job. I'm very proud to call him a friend. John. Now, I'm looking real hard, and I can't find Craig Blair. But I really wouldn't have been a bit surprised to have seen him here. I mean, he's a tough nut, that's for sure. You know, just like all of us that are exposed all the time to different things, he had a bad traffic accident. He could have no longer been with us. He's a tough guy, and I'm really proud to call him my friend. And Craig, if you're watching and everything, just know that everybody here just can't wait till you get back, and they're waiting on you. Craig Blair. All those that are either really smart or maybe they just got a little tired or maybe the circumstances were whatever it may be, all those that have decided not to run for re-election, if you would please stand, I surely would like us all to give you your due and give you a round of thanks and a round of applause for all the effort that you've made for nothing other than your love for this state. Please stand, all those. Well, before I get into all the nitty-gritty, I want to just tell you just a little quick story that's more about me. You know, it's easy to figure Jim out. I'm not a politician. I really don't want anything. Now, I know this is probably not going to be real popular with some, but really it is so easy to just watch me. You know, I do stand like a rock with our president in regard to things that he stands for, like legal, and I say legal, immigration. I absolutely believe that sanctuary cities do not have a place here in West Virginia, and I hope and pray they never come. I can tell you that without any question whatsoever, I stand with the unborn. I'm a sportsman. I love the outdoors. The Second Amendment is ingrained in me forevermore. There is no question about it, whether you love me or don't love me. It's just simple fact. The other thing I would tell you is just this. We had a thing happen within corrections. And in all honesty, what happened was not good. We have had lots and lots and lots of great things going on within corrections. And we got a lot of really good people. But I will promise you to God above, on my watch, there is no place for hate, and there's no place for anti-Semitism in my watch. So, so let me show you this, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, Justice is doing it again. Do you remember this? Oh, I don't know where the other is. Hold on now. I hope it won't slide. And do you remember this? Let me tell you, the reason I brought these is just this. I gave an inaugural address a long time ago. At that inaugural address, prior to that, on Memorial Day, I was at a cemetery for my grandparents in Jesse, West Virginia. A little hillside nothing. And we went to the gravesite, Kathy and I, and we were leaving. For those of you that have forgotten, there was a lady standing at the bridge. There's a guardrail there. She had leaning up against that guardrail several fishing rods, some Carhartt coveralls, some reflector tape Carhartt coveralls. She had absolutely this tackle box and this axe. The little daughter standing beside her didn't know where to turn. I stopped. I gave her $100 for that axe and $100 for this tackle box, and I put them in my car. Everywhere I've gone, even down here tonight, they rode right with me. Now, I'm telling you, that lady looked at me, and she said, "Mister, you'll never know how much I appreciate this, but you have no idea how bad I'm hurting." Now, let me just say this. When I walked in the door, and if I could just drop this so don't jump. When I walked, pretty tough. And I'm not patting myself on the back in any way. We've gone through lots and lots of stuff. And I want to say, without any question whatsoever, nobody does anything alone. Sure, we've argued from time to time, but you have been great, and you should be very, very proud of what you have accomplished. In all honesty, the biggest thing that I cling to is maybe, just maybe, I was maybe the catalyst that brought hope. And that, to me, means everything. So, before we go any further, let's remember that lady. Remember her little daughter. And just remember how good and how strong we are today, you deserve so much credit. I can never thank you enough. And I would say, as profoundly as I know how to say, ladies and gentlemen, the state of our state is strong, and it's growing stronger every single day. Now, imagine personal income last year in 2019 grew $3 billion. That's with a B. $3 billion in this state. Unbelievable. Revenue growth went up $511 million. It's off the chart. Off the chart. The biggest revenue growth, surely by far, but in addition to all that, enough revenue growth that was 1.5 times the previous 10 years put together. It's unbelievable. Now, think about it. Since we've walked in the door, we've been able to put $113 million in the rainy day fund. We put $100 million in PEIA. It's unbelievable. We're going the way we ought to go. Now, I've got to show you just this. When I walked in the door, I said I was going to take you on a rocket ship ride, like that. And we've been on this rocket ship ride. Now, I want you to be really smart. The one thing that I am is a business guy. And I'm going to tell you nothing that remains on straight up or straight down is healthy. So at the end of the day, now, what I want you to do is change. And I want you to become on this lightning bolt ride with us, because that's where we will go. We're underfilling and we are building in what should be built in. That's why tonight you're going to see that the budget that I propose to you is very, very conservative. Very conservative. Because nothing goes just like this. That $511 million, and where we are today with our budget, we're okay. We're not knocking it out of the park in one way, but if you look at it and you say, we're comparing apples to what we did last year, and last year was all-time record beyond belief, then we are knocking it out of the park. We still got a lot of people to help. There's still lots and lots and lots of stuff to do. So, I would say to you, let's take off with the people that may very well be hurting the most. Our Medicaid Fund has grown way beyond belief. We're on a pace to have an excess in the Medicaid Fund of $309 million by year end. Now, if we don't watch out, we'll spend it. We'll come up with any way and every way to spend and spend and spend, because that's what all of us do. What I'm proposing tonight is something that is maybe not never done before, but is surely seldom done. I am proposing tonight that I want to announce legislation to establish the Medicaid Families First Reserve Fund. And I want to lock away $150 million to ensure that always those that are the most vulnerable, and I have a hard time with that word, my secretary, executive assistant Pam will tell you that, but I want to lock away those dollars to be sure that we will always have vital services for those that are the most exposed and need the most help. If I could turn the table real quickly to jobs. Jobs in this state are good. There's no question that they're moving in the right direction, and they're good. Here's something that I want everyone, just as I did last year, to know the business inventory and machinery tax is holding us back in some areas. We need to try. We need to try to find a solution to where we can either get on a glide path or quickly get on a better glide path to eliminate that tax if we can. We have to be careful. There's counties to consider, there's school boards, there's people that we absolutely want to protect. We got to be careful. We got to be careful of where we are with our general overall finances. We have to be careful and we got to be smart. But I don't want there to be anyone to doubt that I would like it gone. I would like it gone, at least gone in time. Now, we have 20,000 new jobs today in the state of West Virginia. One of the reasons we have those jobs is a guy sitting behind me that's working at it every day, and that is President Carmichael, that came up with the idea, you know, to let our kids go to college for free. It's working. It's one of the ideas that's just working. Today, we have an all-time high employment. All-time. It just gets better and better and better. Now, Brother Mitch, we got to have those kids. And you know we got to have them. We got to get them trained, and we got to get them prepared for the workforce. We need more and more and more of them. The reason, if I were to say to you this, let's just be fair and be real. What if I were to say to you, and this is nowhere in my notes, this is nowhere at all, and normally I wouldn't have any notes unless I was sweating and going to take a long time. You know. But here's the thing. What if I were to say to you, in the state of West Virginia, your severance tax dollars are going to be the lowest that they've been in the last 25 years. And then I would say to you, how do you think you're doing? Think about it. Think about it. From the standpoint of the general revenue, the percentage of general revenue, we are the lowest in comparison to one another we've been in 25 years. Nowhere on these notes. I just know it. And yet, our state's doing better and better and better. Tell you why. Tell you exactly why. We've diversified. We're on the move. We've changed our image. There's all kinds of things happening within the state of West Virginia. Now, do we want to do any and everything we can possibly do to create another coal job? Absolutely. Do we want to do anything and everything we can do to promote more and more and more gas and everything? Absolutely we do. With the constraints, and remember I said early on, I'm a sportsman. I love the outdoors more than good sense. The last thing on earth I would ever want to do is harm the water, harm our environment. We've got to be absolutely aware of that all the time. Now, if in fact we had the best unemployment in a decade, there's a big reason for that. And a lot of that reason is up here. And I'm not going to call names right yet, but I just want you to just listen. Northrop Grumman is adding an additional 500 jobs. Procter & Gamble is doing all kinds of great stuff. The Great Barrel Company is up and going in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Toyota's done great stuff. Hino's doing great stuff. Marquest is doing unbelievable stuff. Pierto and Forentini, how about that? Did I get that? Pretty close. N4 and Chemours and Cornerstone and Ramaco. Unbelievable what you're doing. If I could just touch just 1 second on one of them, Ramaco. Think about this just for a second. All of us think, well, we can't burn any more coal because the world is rebelling in every way, shape, form, or fashion against that. Ramaco, it would tell you that coal, now get this, that coal is too expensive to burn. You're wasting an opportunity when you burn it. I thought they were crazy when I was talking about that. But nevertheless, what they're saying is they can make carbon fiber out of coal that is, let me get this straight, is 4 times as light as steel and twice as strong. They absolutely have a way to do things with coal that can be an alternative use for coal that it would be so perfect for us, it is unbelievable. WVU, right now, I am announcing tonight, and I'm sure that everyone probably already knows, but they are going to develop and open a research facility at WVU to research just this. And not only that, Ramaco is looking at the possibility of bringing one of these plants to southern West Virginia. Imagine that we may... Imagine this just for a second. Imagine, well, we understand you can do something extra with coal, but how much would you use? Do you realize in the state of West Virginia today, we're probably on a run rate in West Virginia today of about 82 or 85 million tons. Probably a third of that is metallurgical tons. So say we've got 50 million steam coal tons. You know how many tons that are in America? 700 million. Do you know how many they can use in this process? 125 million tons. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. If in fact it's real, it's unbelievable what the researchers are doing, and they're doing it. They're making it. They're absolutely doing it right now in Wyoming, and they're making it. So now, I'd like, with Hino Motors' Steve Stallnaker to stand, Mark West, Erwin Osling, from Pietro Forentini, Max Ambrosi, N4, Rhoda Stewart, Shamors, and Cornerstone Ed Sparks, and Craig Zoglio. How about that? I got that one. And with Ramaco, Randy Atkins, and they are everywhere up here, and give them a monstrous round of applause, please. Okay. Now, if I could switch channels just a little bit and say just this. I believe airports are our heart. They're our heart. There's lots of things that make us really good, but the airports are everything to us. I've got to brag just a second on an airport that's phenomenal, what they're doing. We've put real dollars in Yeager, and they're doing great stuff. We put real dollars in all kinds of different airports across our state, and they're doing great stuff. But there is no place like North Central West Virginia Airport at Bridgeport. It is unbelievable, the opportunities and what they're doing. You know, they brought a presentation into me, and I immediately said, go. They took that presentation and hit the ground running in building a new terminal, building another 50 acres onto it. Now get this, they've got 1,200 employees from 22 of our counties up there right now, and they are going to grow and grow and grow and grow. They can't make a place fast enough that they don't have a tenant waiting to go. It's amazing. You know, Pratt & Whitney just announced a $30 million expansion. They're going to build a new engine. I don't know what in the world it does, but it's a new, modern, the futuristic engine that is phenomenal. You know, Bombardier and Mitsubishi and Aurora, they're all just cooking. It's good stuff. It's great stuff. So, if we could now recognize Martin D. Fremio, I believe. David Hinkle is the county commissioner in Harrison County, our main county commissioner, and Andy Lang is the mayor of Bridgeport. And please, they're doing it. Give them a giant round of applause. I've got to pass kudos back behind me again to a fellow, Roger Hanshaw. Roger Hanshaw's team has come up with a concept called Mountain Impact. It's a Mountain Impact Fund. It's basically just this. You have a fund that becomes the bank that you can loan money and inspire people to invest within the state of West Virginia, and you can give all kinds a great return on their money that they invest, and you can bring money to our state like you can't imagine. It is an ingenious idea, and I absolutely will fully support it. And Roger, I thank you for it. And y'all could clap. That's a big thing, guys. I've been with our president many times. I'm looking for more and more and more and more jobs. At the end of the day, that's what you elected me for. That's what we're doing. I've been with our president on these occasions that we want to try to attract any federal agency that wants to get out of that craziness in D.C. and wants to find a good place to come to that has 4 unbelievable seasons and absolutely has good people and is within a rock's throw of D.C. and has all the greatness that we have. It's right here waiting on them. You see, this is true. We have changed ourselves from the state that was backward and having a tough time, dingy and dark. We have changed ourselves to become the diamond in the rough, the diamond that they thought they missed. And really now they're trying to find us. Now, let me tell you one more thing. There's a company from Wales. We talked about them before. They're an illumination company. They have a lighting concept that is unbelievable. The amount of energy that it uses is almost nothing. And the amount of light that it kicks off the chart. I have worked diligently on this, and I will not stop until we secure that commitment. They're looking at all kinds of different locations all over the country, but I am confident as I can be that we'll be making an announcement within 30 days that you will absolutely love. They're the real deal, and I hope and pray that they're coming. Now, if I could switch channels one more time and say, well, what about the roads? Well, the best thing I can tell you about the roads is I was getting my hair cut the other day, and this lady, her name is Kenneth Kaufman. She said, she turned to me and she said, and I can't recall if she said it was her brother or a good friend, but Kenneth said, you know, I'm telling you, my brother or this good friend is a guy that loves to be way out in the boondocks. And he said to her, he said, I'm telling you, I don't know how anybody in this state couldn't be happy today because they're even driving the roads that I drive on. Now, if that be the case, and so let me say this, and these guys are coming in the door. Y'all hold on just a second, just 1 second. 280 pieces of new equipment we have now, 27,000 miles of maintenance that they've done. In 18 months, 500 projects and 1,100 miles done. We just went through the second round of bonding, and we have, believe it or not, another $146.5 million that we can just do anything we want with. And we're going to pour more and more and more money into our roads. Now, what I want you to do, because we've got 5 guys right up there that bust their chop every day. They stand in the road, and it's dangerous, and they work hard every day. And we have the deputy secretary and the secretary right with them, Jimmy Riston and Bert White, and I want us all to put one of these jackets on and then stand up and applaud them, and it'll be something we'll remember forever. And then when you leave, I want the jacket back. Well, you got to help me. Well, help me.
Get 2 of them.
All right, now I want y'all to know this, that these people got me one that fits. And I also want you to know they're a bunch of smart alecks, because it's got 7X on the back of it. Nevertheless, guys, thank you. God bless you for all you do. Keep doing it. You know, at the end of the day, whether we're Democrats, Independents, Republicans, or whatever we may be, we all drive on our roads, don't we? And we all appreciate our roads because they give us the pathways to go wherever we want to go. So again, guys, thank you. Thank you from all of us in every way, shape, form, or fashion. I'd like to announce one thing. In our second bond go-round, the first letting we're doing right now, and it's just happened, and it is the Inwood bypass. It's from I-81 to Route 51. It's a okay. You guys must like that. And it came in to bid at $27.7 million, $22.7 million, which was $3 million under estimate. So that's good too, really good. Now, there's a couple of things, Brother White, that that I am ordering you and Brother Jimmy to do, and that's just this. There's going to be a Trump infrastructure program. It's going to happen. There still may be some hacking up and some things like that, but it's going to happen. And when it happens, $2 trillion is a lot of money, guys. And we really need to get our fair share. And we will this go round. So Bird and Jimmy, I am ordering you to be ready, to start work now. Start work right now to where you'll be ready, you'll have dollars for matching, and you'll have so many different things that will give us the opportunity to instantaneously finish Corridor H, instantaneously finish the Coalfield Expressway, and on and on and on. Now, we've gone through a little quagmire and everything on the MARC train. We needed to get it done. We needed to have the MARC train. You know what we did had happen? And Craig, you know, you're not here with us, but you played a big role in it. We had the counties. We had Craig. We had others that are right here. We had many different sources. We had J.B. McCuskey step up to the plate like nobody's business. And then it fell right in my lap from contingency dollars. And I did it. because it's important. It's really important to that neck of the woods, and we absolutely need to do any and everything we always can. Let me switch channels again to the National Guard. The National Guard and the Challenge Academy stuff that they're doing is off the chart. Now, they've graduated 4,663 kids. If you haven't ever been, you need to go. It's amazing. It is truly, absolutely amazing. Now, we found enough money, and I'd like for two people to stand, and I'll get to our general later on, but if David Turner and Sarah Thomas could stand, these two are two of our graduates, two of our new graduates. And so give them a phenomenal round of applause. We have also now, in working with the Guard and in working with our budget in every way, we have now found the dollars. Without increasing our budget, we have now found the dollars to be able to start the Mountaineer Challenge Academy at Montgomery at West Virginia Tech. Good, isn't it? Good stuff. Now, if we could talk about drugs. The very thing that, in my opinion, if we don't watch out, could cannibalize this state, but we're making progress. We're moving in a direction now, still got a long ways to go, no question about that. There's great stuff that's going on in Huntington. There's great stuff that's going on at Marshall. There's great stuff that's going on in all the different areas of our state. One of the things I brought a thing like this last year called Jim's Dream. We put it up right here, and you were kind enough to fund it and everything, and lo and behold, it's off and going. Just think about this. We launched it in October. We've had 1,200 referrals. There's all kinds of stuff that is happening, and it's working. If you've never been, you should go. You're going to see people that are excited about getting their life back. You're going to see people that are on the track of really doing really great stuff. It's working. You know, it's like a great football team. When you run a play that works, I was always a believer, keep running the play till the other side took it away from you. It's working. I was at Camp Dawson not long ago for a graduation. There were 6 kids there, 5 guys and 1 girl. The one female was, you know, relatively young girl. One of the guys was an older guy. You know what they had just gotten trained on and just gone through a course on? They'd gotten trained to run a grader. Now, one of the guys had been offered a job like 2 days before that. Another guy had just received his second offer for a job. And those guys and ladies, you know, you could read it all over their face. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than touching a life and helping somebody turn it around. It's good stuff. Really, really good stuff. One of those is here with us, William Phillips, and his transition agent, and those transition agents are so vital, it is off the chart. And wherever they are, if they'd stand, you've got a guy on his way, and you've touched a life like you can't imagine. And before I think he got out of the room, he got his second job offer, and we congratulate you in every way. And Shannon, I hope I said Shannon Carnes, but I can't see very well, so I'm doing the best I can do. Like I said before, we're making progress. Now, I'm going to ask you for something. And I'm going to probably say something, and some of you are going to say, well, I wish you wouldn't have said it like that. But I don't know any other way to say it. You know, we have too many drugs that are just slipping in here, and people are taking advantage of our kids, and they're taking advantage of our weaknesses, and they come from any and everywhere. And we try to catch them. They usually come through communities that don't have a whole lot of population because they know you're soft and you can't catch them. You can't do anything to it. So tonight, I am ordering Secretary Jeff Sandy to form a new unit called a Narcotics Intelligence Unit. A new unit at the Fusion Center. It'll be a strike force. I'm going to ask you for $1.9 million. And I'm going to ask you to give us that to stop this terrible effort. And I'm going to ask you in this way. I will promise you that if you are kind enough to give us that opportunity, and I want to say this as sincerely and as forcefully as a human being could ever say it, I want to look right in the camera and tell anybody that is trying to come into our state with drugs, we are going to bust your ass. That's all there is to it. So I'd say y'all are with me on that, huh? The IDD waivers. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine those that are having a life that is so difficult, and the caregivers a life that is so difficult, it is unbelievable. There's 1,060 of them that have been on a wait list for a long time, some of them 4 years. 600 of them are children. We have now found enough money. Tonight, I'm so proud to announce that Secretary Crouch and Secretary Hardy have found a solution, and my budget will contain the funding to eliminate the wait list. Child welfare is right behind it. In fact, bless you. Bless you. Child welfare is right with it. You know, when you think about a kid, and I have the opportunity when I'm coaching a basketball team to be with a bunch of kids, but I see all kinds of little rascals and everything. Our little grandson the other day Jill said to him, JC, you've been eating the dog food again, haven't you? He's 2 years old. And he said, nope. And she said, now, JC, at our house, we tell the truth all the time. Now, you've been eating the dog food, haven't you? And he always says okay for yes, and he said, okay. And then she said, well, what did it taste like, JC? And he said, cake. Now, there is nothing as precious as a kid. There's no way. We put a bunch of money and a bunch of people to work last year in child welfare. We don't have enough. We don't have enough. We got a real problem. And we got to own up to it and step up to the plate and do something about it. So, we're going to, within my budget again, we're going to try to improve child welfare in the state of West Virginia until it is the very best in the country. We're going to hire another 87 people that are going to be out in the field as child welfare people to be able to assist and help us in every way. Let me say something about communities and schools. A lot of you don't have one clue about communities and schools. I'm going to tell you that Kathy didn't know much, and neither did I. Kathy needed some cause, or whatever you want to call it, to get really behind and everything. In Greenbrier County, they had a phenomenal success story with communities and schools, but it wasn't linked to the state in any way. Kathy got educated, and then she got behind it. And now it is doing stuff, and I would say, and I'm going to tell you this is how I believe our family should be. We should be honest with one another. We should be loving, but we should be honest. And sometimes honesty is not what the other would like to hear. But I'm going to tell you just this. Of every single program that I've been involved in or I've seen, there is nothing working like this. It's unbelievable. Unflat believable. Today, they're in 71 different schools, and it is touching 28,000 kids. And you know what the teachers, do you know what absolutely the parents, do you know what the kids, do you know what they are saying? The very most disruptive kid in the classroom is now the model. Because maybe he just needed a toothbrush. Maybe he just needed somebody to just stand and help him. Maybe he needed enough food. Absolutely, it's working beyond belief. And I hope to goodness that every last one of you will get out and see how this program is really kicking it out of the park. It's really, really happening. Now, we've got to recognize, and I'm very proud to, Kathy Brunty, and she is with us somewhere, and Deetra Krause is also here. And let me talk a second. Kathy is a teacher at Westside High School in Wyoming County. She had 25 of these kids. 25 kids that were struggling. Not 25 naturally just picked out brainiacs. 25 of these kids that were struggling. 25 out of 25 graduated. It's amazing. Deetra is one of those. And you know what she's on her way to do? To become a nurse. It's amazing. Good job. I want to do a little more. We got too many people out in all across the different regions of our state that are hungry. I want absolutely to commit $1 million to create more food pantries or be able to buy more food for people that are really out there and really hurting. In addition to that, I want to take $2 million additional dollars, and go to the Department of Education and put that into their backpack program. And I'm not terribly familiar with every one of these, but their backpack program will ensure just this. And gosh, I see it. I see it. Can you just imagine, going home on Friday and know you're going to be hungry? It's tough stuff, guys. It's really tough stuff. You know, and if we can't find $2 million to help our kids and help the hungry, then we're not much of us. That's all there is to it. So anyway, in my budget, there's $2 million going to that. We all know tourism in the state's really moving. We all know it's doing great stuff. Before I got here, we had 4 consecutive years of traveler spend declines. Boom, 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 boom. The lightning bolt going the wrong way. Chelsea Ruby, wherever she is doing an incredible job. And get this number. Get this. Our growth surpassed the national average of growth by 58%. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chelsea, where are you? I don't know where she is, but where she is, clap for her. The DNR is doing exciting stuff too. The DNR has been able, since 2017, to acquire 78,000 acres of land. 24 wildlife management areas have been established. The total from 2001 to 2016 was 30,000, 78,000 last year, or since 2017. They stocked 2.7 million trout since 2017. Now, surely to goodness, y'all could catch a few of them. I mean, for crying out loud. Now, hunting and fishing licenses are up by 50%. Pre-sales doubled. Our elk herd's doing great. We've spent $60 million in park upgrades. And you know where all this is tying right back in? Is tourism, 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 tourism. It's amazing. So Steve McDaniel, thank you, and I'm going to keep moving. Our petrochemical industry has so many incredible potentials. Austin Caperton is heading up a task force, a downstream task force. It's unbelievable if you'll just be patient. It is unbelievable what is going to happen to manufacturing in this state. And it's all going to flow, not all, but a lot of it is going to flow through the petrochemical side. We want our oil and gas people to thrive. We want, like I said before, to try any and every way we possibly can to continue to manufacture one additional coal job, one additional gas job. It's happening. It's happening. It's tough. It's dog flat tough. The coal market, the thermal market was at $78 a ton, and now it's $35. There's no way. We just can't hardly compete, and it's really tough. The metallurgical market was at $210 a ton, FOB the mine, and today it's $85. It's tough. But we got to keep trying to find solutions and ways to absolutely ensure that our coal miners are going to have their jobs. Now, one thing now that we've been able to work and compromise on from the gas side that I am absolutely supportive of is our low pressure wells, and I believe with all in me that this is a real opportunity for a real bipartisan effort. I believe there's support across the aisle on both sides, and I believe that this is what we need to get behind in an effort to try to plug the old wells and to give people a break in these low-pressure wells. There's something called Virgin Hyperloop. One of my little buddies in my tunnel is out of his mind about Virgin Hyperloop, and so am I. A lot of you wouldn't have any idea what in the world Virgin Hyperloop could possibly be. And I didn't know either. But we went to Morgantown, and WVU is reaching out, and we're reaching out in every way, shape, form, or fashion, and it's a possibility. It is an absolute possibility. What it does is just this. There's a tube that is built over land, and it is revamping the entire transportation system in any way that we may know it. And you get in a pod in that tube, and you can go in excess of 600 miles an hour where you're going. You can't even feel the ripple of it at all. I do believe that we are in the finalists to have that research center at WVU. We have the terrain. We have the willingness from all of our people. I took every secretary head that we had there. We met with them. We went round and round and round with them. I've talked to the president since then, and it's possible. It is so phenomenal, it's off the chart. I will do anything and everything I can. And Jay is the president. And Jay, if you hear me, know that you got a governor here that's a big guy that is absolutely willing to do anything that I possibly can within my power to try to get you here, because it would be unbelievable. Now, there's two people from WVU. There's the dean of the West Virginia College of Business and Economics, and there's a lady, Sarah Pillar, and she is the executive director of WVU's Vantage Ventures, and the dean is Javier Rivas, I believe. Now, I'm probably mispronouncing it, but please stand and let's give them a great big round of applause. They have done unbelievable work on this project. Now, I know those chairs are getting hard, but I'm almost done. I want to talk a second about education. I'm a real believer in this. The first time you ever saw me, this is exactly what I said. I said, we ought to make education our centerpiece. We have in a lot of ways. We've made a real commitment to education, and we've done lots and lots and lots of stuff. And I'm not going to go through all the blow by blow of what we've done, but absolutely, we have changed the way the outside world thinks about us and thinks about education. And we got lots more to do. We got lots more to do. And to make it better and better and better as we go forward, I hope we can do more and more and more and more. We want to make it better. We want to reward our people better. We want to make it better for our kids. We want to make the scores be better. We want every part of it to be better. So, but tonight we have our Teacher of the Year. And whoo, am I going to have a time with this one. Jennifer Schwartfeger. How about that? Jennifer, where are you? Right there. Jennifer has transformed, now get this, transformed the way that science is being taught to our kids, and she is transforming the way we think it ought to be taught. She's done an incredible job, and her sponsors, Toyota and Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield and Horace Mann, are with us, and the West Virginia Lottery are somewhere, and you got to give them a big round of applause too. Now, I'm with the state police every day. I drive myself because they don't drive very well. And they scare me totally to death. No, I'm just teasing. They're really good, and it's amazing how dedicated they are and all the great stuff they've done. You know, you go back to when things were really tough. You didn't have a cadet class for 4 years, and we're about to enter March of 2020 and send our third class into action. It's good stuff. They do work like you can't imagine. Absolutely. They protect us, and we should respect and love them every single solitary day. You know, I'd like to talk just a second about our elderly. In some ways, I guess I'm talking about me. You know, but again, I thank you and congratulate you for what you did in removing, or in the tiering of removing, the income tax on the state income tax on our Social Security. It was a great move. It was a great move for our elderly. You know, last year we committed $1 million to the Bureau of Senior Services. It's not enough money, but it enabled us to purchase a bunch of new vehicles to supply hot meals to the homebound. You know, it's a curse and it's a virtue. You know, I won't give up on trying to care for somebody. I won't. And whether you buy it or not buy it, I'm only here to care. And if you think about our elderly, the people that have been through their life and given us so much, it's unbelievable. And maybe there's some, and we know there are, they're sitting right out there and they just love a hot meal. You know, again, is that too much? I mean, is it really too much? So this year, there's $3 million in my budget to buy another 43 vehicles and to supply all kinds more meals to the seniors that are out there that are looking for just a warm meal and a kind voice. Woody, don't sit down. You know, I don't know where you can stand here. Let me tell you just this. I can't tell this story enough, but I was at Barbersville with the veterans. And I said, what would you want if we could do whatever you could do? And they said, Governor, we'd like our retirement exempt from state income tax. And I said, well, how much would that cost? And I said, is there anybody here that knows? Because we were in session. And nobody really knew, but all of a sudden there was this one guy who was a really sharp guy, and he stood up and said, Governor, I think it's somewhere between $2.7 and $3.2 million. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Again, these people have given each and every one of you and me every single thing we have in this life. Everything. Everything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're going to Wendy's. I don't care what in the world you're doing. We owe every single thing in our life to them. Everything. That's all there is to it. Again, I say it over and over and over. They ask so little and they've given so much. It's unbelievable. So we came back and I sent it up and you were kind enough to get behind it and boom, it was just done that quick. I thank you again. I thank you for all them. I thank you for me. I thank you for my dad. I thank you for Kathy's dad. I thank you. Now, in my budget, you'll find $5.5 million that's going to the nursing home in Clarksburg. You'll also find that we've been able to purchase more vans to be able to get our veterans to the hospitals. You'll see in my contingency fund that I was able, because these people stood in the road, they did everything in the world to raise money for the Oceana Memorial Wall, and my dad is on that wall. And so we took a few contingency dollars and we were able to get them over the edge, and that wall's built. But let me tell you this. We've got a Medal of Honor recipient. It's unbelievable. You talking about a hero. I mean, you may think you're important. I may think I'm important. We can't hold a candle to this man. And not only is he that, but what he's doing all across this country for our Gold Star families is off the chart. So I don't know how our thunderous applause can thank him anymore. No way can it thank him anymore. But please, Woody Williams, stand and let's absolutely give him the applause that he deserves. Never can thank you enough. Really good.
Well, Governor, if I may be so bold.
Now come on up here. You come up here by my tackle box.
If I may be so bold.
Yeah, please.
We're going to do a monument on the Capitol grounds that will be 2 times the size of anybody else's in the country, because we are West Virginians.
Here, you come up here. You come right on up here. Move this out of the way. Come on over here and just talk. They had a whole lot rather hear from you than me.
Well, currently, we're in 45 states, 45 states in this country, many communities. We've lost count of those. But they have put up a Gold Star Family Memorial Monument to honor those families that gave more than any of us. They gave one of their loved ones so we could be free. We've got 63 more that are in process somewhere in the country. West Virginia can be very, very proud. We already have 7 communities in this state that have put up a Gold Star Family Memorial Monument to honor those in their communities. We have 4 more that are in the process and working every day, and in just a few months, they will be online. So it's happening all over the country because of the big hearts and the love that people show for those who gave so much of a sacrifice. We need $12,000 to meet our goal for our Capitol monument. So I hope we can get $12,000 out of him.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can keep that little orange jacket, and I'll give you the $12,000 tomorrow out of the contingency fund, and you stay away from my hatchet. Listen, let me tell you something else. The good Lord gave you the ability to smile and to laugh. It's good stuff. This is an unbelievable hero right in our midst, and he is unreal. Unbelievable what he can do and say. And I'd like to touch on just a couple other things really quick. The arts and the funding of the arts is terribly important to our state. We don't want in any way to lose our identity of how great we really are. And do you know that every dollar that we pump into arts, we return back 23 almost instantaneously. Brother Randall, where are you? Oh my goodness. Well, please stand. And we're going to, I mean, what a job he's doing. It's off the chart. Look at this. I love it. You didn't even let me, recognize these 2 other people. There's a lady here, and her name is Chio Feinler. How about that? And she's the Senior Director of Programs and Policy, and she heads up this effort called Save the Music. And absolutely, there's packages of musical instruments in all 55 of our counties. It's unbelievable how important that is. And if hold on just one second. And the other person that's here that we want to recognize is our senior advisor to the Office of Senior Deputy Chairman. Good gracious. And, oh, no, wait a minute. This is the Chief Grant Coordinator. Oh, forgive me. We need you really bad. And this is Joshua Malthy. And where is he? He was saying, thank you, sir. Now we're on the home stretch. Year 2020, an incredible, incredible anniversary year. 100 years now, 100 years that women have been able to vote. Absolutely 100 years, and please, let's all cheer in every way, shape, form, or fashion for that anniversary. Okay, last year I came to you with the idea of an intermediate court of appeals. I really truly believe that it is a part of putting us on our way to restore honor and integrity to our system even better. We need to do it, and I think we can get it across the finish line this year. It'll help us in lots and lots of different ways. You know, now, the other thing I would say about this is just this. With the follow-up of the court we have right here and the assistance that we can give in many different ways, we got to get that across the finish line. The last thing I'd say, my very last page, I'd say just this. Kathy and I the other day, we went to the National Guard hangar. And at that hangar, there was a plane that landed with 100 plus of our bravest and best that came back from 11 months of duty all over the world, most of them in Iraq and Kuwait. Now just think about it. Think about last night. Think about last night if you would have been the parents or the spouse of your child that would have been in Iraq at one of those bases. Just think about what I've said about how much we owe, how much we truly owe. Kathy and I were there, and they got off the plane, and all their families were here and were there and everything, and here they came. And Kathy kept saying, "Can you imagine? Can you imagine really and truly how tough and how good this really is?" We both walked around with tears running down our face. It was unbelievable how great it really, really, truly was. Now, but on that same day, we had 7 being deployed that day. Now, let me tell you, tonight we have with us Mrs. Tiffany Holston. Her and her daughter Taylor. Her husband is a technical sergeant, Brandon Holstein. He's deployed with our 130th Airlift Wing. If she would stand, please give her the love that absolutely all of us want to do. Tiffany, Brandon will be home soon, and that'll be great stuff. You know, I'd leave you with one thought. There may be people here that love West Virginia as much as me, but there's no way on earth there's anybody here that loves it more. I love you. I love this great state. I love all that we stand for. I love the fact that I've been able to be maybe a coach. I've been maybe working towards the fact that if we could just say that maybe, just maybe, I've been a coach that's been working to train you for the Olympics. And that's you being West Virginia. And all I would say now, is go win the gold. God bless you. Thank you.
A very optimistic Governor Justice concludes the 2020 State of the State address. He says he'll present a very conservative budget to lawmakers, still a budget which proposes funding for several efforts within the Department of Health and Human Resources, including Child Protective Services. He outlined a list of economic development projects and addressed the state's substance use disorder epidemic. And we all had a special moment with Woody Williams, West Virginia's Medal of Honor recipient. Many other proposals by the governor this evening, all issues that West Virginia Public Broadcasting will be examining nightly, beginning tomorrow evening at 6 on the Legislature Today. We'll get the minority party's reaction to the governor's speech tonight, as minority leaders Senator Roman Prezioso and Delegate Tim Miley join us on the legislature tomorrow. Again, that begins at 6. We hope you'll join us. I'm Suzanne Higgins. From everyone here at West Virginia Public Broadcasting, thanks for watching. Have a great evening.